Good evening to all of you. My name is Amy Feilbogen, and along with my husband, Rob, I'd like to welcome all of you to our home. We're so pleased to have you here for the first ever American Friends of Magen David Adom event in Westchester. Thank you all so very much for coming. I want to begin by acknowledging some special guests here tonight. Welcome to the AFMDA National Board members and the Northeast Leadership Council members. I want to welcome Ori Shacham, Chief of Staff of Magen David Adom, who traveled here from Israel to join us tonight. And I'd also like to welcome Kathy Reed, the CEO of AFMDA. Thank you all so much for being here. The state of Israel relies on Magen David Adom. The 3,500 staff members and over 31,000 volunteers treat and transport nearly 1 million people to hospitals every year. In addition to their core work of saving lives, Magen David Adom collects, tests, and distributes nearly all of the blood to Israel's hospitals. They also offer expertise to other countries in responding to mass casualties. On October 7th, Magen David Adom paramedics and EMTs ran toward the danger, risking their lives to save others. Today, they continue to work tirelessly to protect Israel. For millions of Israelis, Magen David Adom represents hope. To share more about the organization and what makes it so special, I would like to introduce 30-year veteran paramedic and Magen David Adom's Chief of Staff, Ori Shacham. We can't thank you enough. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. As mentioned, my name is Uri Shacham, and God, it's been 30 years of serving in this organization. Once I didn't have gray hair. On this Friday, we are celebrating the 94th anniversary for the establishment of the organization of Magen David Adom. 94 years. Sadly, we will mark 8 months of the horrible day, maybe the darkest day in the state of Israel since its establishment, since October 7th. But I think that this day that marks both something that represents hope and something that represents tragedy is a symbol. Because Magen David Adom has always been connected to helping the people of Israel at their darkest times, at their most terrible times. During the war for establishing the State of Israel, it was Magen David Adom who trained the Haganah members that were registered as volunteers of Magen David Adom. During the wars, we cooperated with the IDF for transporting wounded soldiers. During terror times, it was Magen David Adom that developed a state-of-the-art method that made us a world-leading organization in responding to mass casualty incidents learned throughout the world. And at the end of the day, the necessity or the reality that we live in Israel brought us to a point that we delivered the people of Israel with 3 main activities. We protect life in the state of Israel by forming, by creating, by maintaining an infrastructure that involves highly trained professionals, that involves state-of-the-art technology, and that involves equipment, or the best equipment there is. And by being constantly prepared, this is how we protect life. We save life by finding the most available first responder, ambulance, defibrillator, closest to the scene, and sending it as fast as possible, being there. And we save life by making sure that everyone that is interested in saving life is incorporated into the system. And we give life by a network of 30,000 volunteers, more than 31,000 volunteers, as you heard. When we incorporate each and every Israeli into Magen David Adom, we allow people to develop. We bring communities that might never be involved in life-saving by opening the door and telling them, yes, you can help your community. And it doesn't matter whether you are an ultra-Orthodox Jew, a Bedouin girl that lives in an unrecognized village somewhere in the state of Israel, or whether you are a secular person living in the central of Tel Aviv. As long as you are committed for life-saving, it's not that you can wear or may wear those uniforms. You ought to wear those uniforms. Because when my firstborn daughter, 15 years old, goes and volunteers for Magen David Adom, she meets people that she will never meet unless she would volunteer for Magen David Adom. She is a young kibbutznikit, very smart like her mother, that lived in the kibbutz for her entire life. Where would she meet an urban guys or girls? Guys, it's later part of her life. Or somebody who lives in an Arab city, or somebody that she never met in Magen David Adom. And when disaster struck on October 7th, we were prepared. We were prepared because we are constantly prepared. Nobody ever told us, be prepared for incursion of 3,000 terrorists into Israel. Nobody told us, be prepared to take care of people that have undergone unspeakable atrocities. But we decided to be prepared to help anyone, anytime, and any place. And as we did it for 93 years, we will continue of doing this for the next 93 years. But we learned from October 7th two things. First of all, you better believe what your enemies are telling. When Hassan Nasrallah says, I'm going to attack communities in the northern of Israel, like Hamas did in the south of Israel, we take it as his intention, right? And exactly like students in universities across the United States, when they say we support Hamas and we think Jews are to be whatever they say, we're not dismissing it. They're saying, oh, they are young people, they don't know what they're talking about. And this is why we train communities around Israel. Because we learned on October 7th that communities that had Magen David Adom people in it, with equipment, with the training, and with the connection to Magen David Adom dispatch, were able to respond and save lives. So this is what we do today. And we prepare our teams. We prepare them for another attack. We prepare them for scenarios of tens of thousands of rockets to be shot. And we tell them, you might not have radio communication. You might not have electricity. You have to be prepared. As you've been prepared on October 7th without knowing that you are prepared, you should be prepared for the next day. And by preparing the Israeli community, we deliver two things. First, we deliver the Magen David Adom spirit. The feeling that no matter what, if you're attacked by vicious terrorists, Magen David Adom will be there for you. if you are suffering from a heart attack. You know, now suffering from a heart attack in Israel sounds like it's nothing, okay, right? Things can be worse. But no, there are many people in Israel that say, I need help, and I want somebody to come and assist me. Magen David Ador will be there for you. And we are saying to our people, you are the pretty face of the land of Israel. Wherever somebody needs your help, you'll be there for him. Medically wise, on a humanitarian aspect. And by delivering this spirit of Magen David Adom, we are actually providing what Israelis, I think, in my personal opinion, needs the most nowadays, and this is hope. We don't know things for fact. Ask me when this war is going to end, I have no idea. Ask me when the hostages will return to their families, hopefully in 30 minutes, right? But nobody can tell us. But we provide hope. We are saying things will be okay. The day after, Magen David Adom will be there for you. And when people have hope at their hearts, I think that strengthens our resilience. And this is what allows us to keep waking up each morning and do what we do. Educate our kids, support our neighbors. And I will end with one thing. It's a problem. I used to be a paramedic trainer. Okay, so I can speak for hours and hours on this pole. Just ask me to speak 4 hours about this pole, I can do it. But I would say one thing. When we woke up on October 8th, it seemed like the world has collapsed. Nothing will ever be good again, and we are all alone in this world. The entire world is against Israel. But when the sun rose on October 8th, we got support from people all around the world in a magnitude that we haven't seen in decades. In decades. And this support is not only providing us with this such needed medical equipment, with the such needed ambulances, with the such needed ability to train those communities, but it provides us with the feeling that there is somewhere there that cares. I spend a lot of time speaking with people in the US. And my son, who is 11 years old, once asked me at night, Daddy, why do you speak at the phone so late? I told him, I'm speaking with people in America. Why are they calling you? I said, because they support the activity of Magen David Adom. And why do they do this? And I told him, Itamar, that's his name, because they care. They care not only for Magen David Adom, they care for you. They care that you could live in our promised land safely. Sorry, I'm all shivering. Because you should have seen the look at his eyes when he understood that somebody who never knew him, who lives like 9,000 kilometers away, cares for him. And I hope that when he'll grow up and he will be a Magen David Adom volunteer, he better be a Magen David Adom volunteer, right? He will remember that people care for him. And this is why I didn't come here just to speak about Magen David Adom. I came here to thank each and every one of you for being there for the state of Israel, for Magen David Adom, and for me and my family on our darkest days. God bless you all. Am Israel Chai. Thank you so much for coming today.
Thank you. A little shorter. Thank you, Ori, for your meaningful remarks and for sharing about Magen David Adom's heroic work, not just on October 7th, but all the days before and in the past 8 months as well. My name is Allie Bernstein, and I am the Director of Major Gifts at American Friends of Magen David Adom. I have never been more proud of my professional career than I have in the past 8 months, and as I've shared with some of the people here tonight, If I can't physically be in Israel, then my work here in the States connecting individuals to the mission of Magen David Adom is truly the next best thing to be pouring my heart and soul into, and helping the people of Israel and the Jewish people at this very critical time. Speaking of supporting the Jewish people, we have an especially exciting conversation tonight. We have as our special guests women who are devoted tirelessly to advocating for Israel online and in the media. Now let me introduce you to them. Many of you may already know Lizzie Savetsky, a digital influencer and an outspoken activist for Israel and the Jewish people. Since October 7th, she has further increased her advocacy on social media and redoubled her work with nonprofit philanthropic movements to support her people and homeland. From traveling to college campuses to supporting Jewish students to building bridges of hope with diverse communities, Lizzie has become one of the most passionate and popular pro-Israel voices today. Alongside Lizzie, we are very excited to welcome Caroline Demore, businesswoman, DJ, actress, fashion model, and the founder and CEO of Pizza Girl. In addition to her entrepreneurial accomplishments, Caroline is a dedicated ally to the Jewish people and the community, and has vowed to continue utilizing her influential platform and voice to amplify positive messages and stand up for the rights of humanity worldwide. In response to the hatred of Jews that emerged in the last few months, Caroline has bravely spoken out for a path towards more caring and listening in our public discourse. Moderating the conversation with Caroline and Lizzie, we are pleased to also have with us Stephanie Botnick, the co-host of the very popular Jewish podcast Unorthodox, produced by Tablet Magazine, where she has worked for more than a decade in various writing and editing roles. Stephanie is the co-author of the newest Jewish encyclopedia, From Abraham to Zabars and Everything in Between. Her writing has appeared in the New York Times, the Washington Post, the Wall Street Journal, and the New York Post. The New York Post. Please help me in offering a very warm welcome to Lizzie, Caroline, and Stephanie.
Wow. Can we just say what a night? Like, have you ever been in a more beautiful setting to have a more important conversation?
Amazing.
But just in such the spirit here is so warm and so special. So I want to thank Amy and Rob for hosting us. All the people who made this event possible. Of course, Uri for sharing those words. And it's just great to be here in support of such an amazing organization. As mentioned, I'm Stephanie Butnick. I'm a journalist, a Jewish podcaster, and a mother. And it's in all three of those roles that I'm regularly inspired by tonight's guests. And so I want to just join me again in welcoming the amazing Lizzie Savetsky and Caroline Demore. So both of you are extremely popular figures online, sharing aspects of your lives, businesses, and support for various causes. And you've been doing this for quite some time now. Caroline, through your role as founder and CEO of Pizza Girl, you should be following. It's amazing. The Pizza Girl, she'll tell you all about it. It's wonderful. And Lizzie, through your journey of fashionable motherhood and your longtime work around issues relating to the Jewish community. October 7th sort of changes things, I think, in my understanding for both of you, as someone who is watching what you're posting and what you're doing. And, you've really become two of the most vocal, passionate voices for the hostages, for the people of Israel, and all of those hoping for a more hopeful, balanced conversation about, the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. So I guess I would love to start by each of you telling us a little bit about your personal journey in the wake of the events of October 7th and what motivated you to sort of shift what you were doing to focus on that online.
So, hi guys. It's so nice to be here, and this is such a gorgeous night. I was so excited to get to wear my summer outfit in this beautiful, beautiful, gorgeous backyard. Thank you so much for having us. So I had started my journey really with Jewish advocacy full speed ahead in the spring of 2021 when Israel was attacked by Hamas, and I saw how the minute that Israel responded to the attack, they were immediately pummeled in the media and on social media. And I was just shocked. I think I had been very naive, and I thought that everyone loved Israel because I loved Israel, and I didn't realize that Israel was controversial. And it was a real awakening for me, and it was not a pretty one. And I was really looking for somebody out there like me who had a platform on social media to speak up in defense of the Jews and the state of Israel, our homeland. And I didn't really find much. And I was just so disappointed in seeing so many people that I had looked up to immediately jump to demonize Israel without having any knowledge, without ever having been there, and not realizing that what they were doing was impacting Jews all over the world. And it was then that I realized that there's this pattern. Israel's attacked. Israel responds to that attack. Israel's demonized. And then the Jews are demonized all over the world. And so I learned over the past 2.5, 3 years that this is what happens in the world. This is the new version of anti-Semitism. So in the spring of 2021, I made a decision to fully shift my focus from fashion, lifestyle, mommy, fun content. I had always been outspoken about my Jewish identity. You know, I did Yiddish word of the week, and I always incorporated my Jewish pride, but I had never thought of myself as an activist. And so I just committed to it because I really felt like there was no other option. It was, I couldn't continue on the path I was on and also stand up for Israel in the way that I felt like I needed to, because I saw immediately that I lost followers, I lost jobs, and I was dropped by my management company. And I knew that this was one of those moments where there would be no turning back. So I really was lucky that leading up to October 7th, and it's a weird thing to say I was lucky, but leading up to October 7th, I really had 2.5 years of training and learning how to talk about Israel, learning the facts, understanding the repercussions of what was happening. And when October 7th happened, I was in Israel with my family, and I was sitting in the bomb shelter of the King David Hotel with my children, and I looked at my husband and I said, we know what's going to happen. We're going to respond, and the world is immediately going to turn. And it wasn't even less than 24 hours later that we heard members of Congress calling for a ceasefire before Israel had even had a chance to retaliate. And, you know, it played out exactly how I knew it would. And I just jumped in, and I've been nonstop ever since. We landed from Israel on October 9th in the morning. I went straight to Fox News. I've been blessed to have spoken to communities all over the country, and other countries too. And really the best thing is seeing how communities like this have really stepped up to the plate, and it's been incredible. And I'm sorry that was a very long-winded answer.
We also should have a shout out to your husband, Dr. Ira Savetsky, who is here. He could do it all. He's filming.
So I hope you're getting the good angles.
There's no bad angle.
So Caroline, I'd love to pose that question to you, and I also want to state this for our audience. You are not Jewish.
I am not. I know.
You do not
it's
have
bizarre.
to be here. But you're here.
Yeah.
In this with us. So how did that happen?
So unlike Lizzie, I knew freaking nothing about really anything that had to do with the Middle East. I was very happy in my little bubble growing up in LA and Malibu and being on shows like The Hills and like just enjoying my freaking life. I could have stayed silent, yes. And a lot of people ask me, they're like, don't you kind of wish you just shut up? And there's like maybe a day out of every like 45 days that I kind of feel that way. I'm like, what would life be like if I never said anything? But the truth is that life is very short. And I knew that the day that I was 5 years old when my mother passed away. And I then became the age she was when she died. And I was like, I got to live the life that she didn't get to live. I have to, like, I could, what people don't realize is we could die tomorrow. And did your life mean anything? Did you do anything to change anything? And that is why all of a sudden October 7th happened, I have so many Jewish friends growing up in LA, and they're all reaching out to me crying about this or that, and then I can't believe this person didn't invite me to this party, or really like frivolous kind of things in the beginning. It was like, this person didn't post my birthday post, you know, like everybody posts like the birthday post for the friend, but the only person that they didn't post for was the Jewish friend, like repost. And she was very upset about it. And then I saw like flyers at college campuses saying like, everybody's invited except for Jewish people. And like I really it's just like one thing after another. And I had just started dating this incredible man, like literally just started dating him right before October 7th. And I think a lot of people wish that I dated him after, and like it was like this magical story that happened after. However, would I have changed my whole life for this freaking guy? No. But he posted that he lost a friend at the Nova Festival. He's from Israel. And I saw that post, and I saw the hatred that was kind of put all over that post. And I was like, are you kidding me? Like, somebody who is suffering, struggling. He actually played me a voice note of his friend who he knew from Panama, like a totally different place, who had just sent him a voice note, and we just found out that she was murdered at Nova. And it was like the most beautiful voice note. She wanted to work for his company, like all this stuff. And it was just like, all these people are being hateful all of a sudden. That blew my mind. And there was this one day, my neighbor came to my house. She's like knocked on the door. She's like all emotional. She's like taking her, what do you call it? Off her door? Mezuzah. Yes, a mezuzah. I'm not Jewish, so I say everything wrong. I don't know.
You're perfect.
Oh, thank you. I love you. So I saw all this, and I just, with wet hair, looked like absolute garbage. Which
No, you're drop dead gorgeous.
I went to my backyard and I just said, honestly, it was quite simple. I said, stop being assholes to Jewish people. Like, this is weird. This isn't right. Like, what are you doing? I put my phone away thinking everybody would think like I'm thinking. Like, I thought it was common sense. Like, you do not be cruel to a group of people that we all love because of something happening in the Middle East, right? Like, no. I go to a concert that night. I put my phone away thinking my life is just going to be normal again. Like, nothing's going to change. Like, I just said, stop being assholes to Jewish people. Like, this is creepy. Like, what is happening at college campuses, this and that. I look at my phone. Why are there 30,000 views in like a few hours? And then the next day, 6 million views of my post. I had a bit of a panic attack. I kind of thought I had done something wrong. I was like, what did I do? Like, why is this happening? And then I quickly realized the reason my post went so viral is because there was 0 non-Jewish people speaking up for the Jewish community. And then after my, freak out settled, I started to get this influx of messages from moms, from like really beautiful moms that were basically in tears, like some of you who even came up to me tonight and just wanted a hug. Yes, you. And this now happens to me all over the world. And from that first moment, and it makes me emotional, honestly, because from that first moment, when all of these messages came in saying, thank you so much. Like, thank you for caring. Thank you for being brave. Thank you for speaking up. Like, I've changed my kid's last name, and I took my, Star of David off, or I did this, or I did that. I'm like blown away that this is happening to this community, this beautiful community. And then what kept me speaking up was the continuous moments like this, the love, truly, like the love and the people. And I started to teach people. I'm now being asked to speak all over the world. I'm like this random pink-haired pizza girl is being asked to speak at college campuses about bullying and all over the world. And I say to them, they go, how do you deal with all the hate? How do you deal with it? And I say, you know what? I don't. And let me teach you how. So we only have so much bandwidth in business, in family, in life. And we have to choose who we're going to give that time to. right? So when we look at our page and our brains are wired to see the one hateful comment and focus on it and can't understand it and want to comment on it and want to like respond to them. But what I learned is that if I give all of my love to the love, and this is going to sound very LA, very, very pink-haired of me, okay? But the truth is if I give my energy to the love, it grows exponentially. And if I give my energy to the hate, that grows exponentially. So I block the hate. I don't have time for you. Life is short. I could die tomorrow. I already outlived my mother. Like, I'm only going to give my time and energy to the people that actually fucking deserve it. And you all deserve it, and I'm sorry that this is happening, but I do believe that it's going to evolve and it's going to change, and people are going to look back on this time and they're going to regret some of these behaviors just like they did in the past. And I'm sorry, but yeah, that's my story.
Wow. So let's do a little audience poll. Who here is on Instagram? Who here is on TikTok? That's like this young crowd over there. I need more young hands over there.
That guy's on TikTok.
Oh, wait. All right. We have a lot of TikTok. Okay. Facebook. Okay. Is there Twitter? X? Okay. So we're pretty well versed, some of us more than others. But I think this is this fascinating moment we're in where the reach that the two of you have is really amazing and it's unparalleled. And I would love it, since we have some social media beginners here, who are maybe not yet following you, but will be on Instagram and following you tonight. Could you offer us some insight into the role that these, this idea of the social media influencer, how the role they play in shaping public opinion and now combating misinformation, anti-Semitism, and all of that?
When I opened up an Instagram account back in 2012 called Accessories Expert, I don't know if anyone was following me back then. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Oh, geez. I had never heard of the word influencer, well, at least not in this capacity. And, for a long time, Instagram was a platform where we posted highly curated pictures. I never would have imagined that it would turn into the spread of both information and misinformation, and that it would be this crazy propaganda machine. It was not something I saw coming, and I was already too far in by the time that it happened. And I meet people all the time who tell me, "Oh, I'm not on Instagram, but I hear, the work you're doing is great." And I always say, "Good for you." I have to be on it, and I think it's a really challenging job to be trying your hardest to educate and spread the truth in a sea of lies. When you're up against a group of people who are exponentially larger than you, who have no regard for the truth, who are willing to say and do anything to push their agenda. And so, it is so important that anyone out there who feels like they can handle it can step up and be a voice for the truth. We really cannot afford to be silent. We're never going to win the numbers game. We really need every single person to either be posting or at least amplifying the truth, because regardless of if people are going to listen or not, it's our job in this life to be a light, and we have to do everything that we can. And unfortunately, the vehicle that we have to do it on is this breeding ground of hate and insanity, the social media world. I'm really only on Instagram, but my assistant posts my videos to TikTok, and the amount of hate that I have seen there is psychotic. It's truly the most shocking and terrifying thing. This is what the next generation is seeing and learning from.
So, do you have any advice for some people here who might want to use social media, their own platforms, however large or small they might be, to advocate for Israel? But you say this is your job, right? So the hate that comes in, that's part of the work, right? That's part of it. You get these big returns in other ways. What do you say to sort of those of us there with a small account who want to sort of advocate for Israel?
I just want to say, like, this is not my job. This was an accident for me. And I have so much respect for you. And when I see what you do, I'm like, wow, that's like a full-time job. And I am not that person. I don't live up to that expectation, and I'm sorry. But I will say right now that some days I wish I didn't have an account anymore.
Me too.
Yeah. And
We need you. We all need you.
I'm not going anywhere, but
Right.
I fantasize about it.
Yeah. And it's more so not because of me or like how I feel about myself. Like I'm weirdly strong and I don't expect anybody. It's hard because everybody's like, everybody needs to speak up. But like, I don't expect anybody to deal with the garbage that we deal with day to day because it is garbage. It is threatening. It is exhausting. It is toxic. You have to have a certain sort of like, I don't know, will to be like hated all the time to deal with it. And for me, I'm an accidental activist. That's what a lot of people have called me. I think your podcast called me that. And it's the truth. I just spoke up with my heart and how I can't live up to the expectations of being an activist all the time. I have a family. I have a business. This is not my business. I feel like there's days when I'm scared that I'm going to lose my business over this. And I'm so grateful that you all, are going to go home with my sauce tonight because did you even know that I have a pasta sauce company? No. None of you did you? No. But like that's what I've given my life to for the past however many years.
It's also kosher.
It is kosher, and it's very, very
A
good.
true ally.
Yeah. I did that by accident, by the way. That wasn't even also a thing like I
Don't
thought
tell us
out.
that. Let us think you did it on purpose.
No, I went in. I'll tell you the story of it. It was actually quite beautiful. I went in and I had my meeting about like all the certifications, women-owned, organic, and they said, "What about kosher?" And I said, "Well, is it?" I said, "Well, I don't want to exclude anybody." That was literally my thought. Like, I don't want to exclude anybody if I can prevent it.
I wish the whole world thought that way. That's so beautiful.
So that's how that happened. It wasn't a religious thing, and I'm sorry. And there is a rabbi like in there doing his thing, but like I didn't know much about it, and I'm grateful that it is because then coincidentally I'm like a voice for the Jewish people. A year
So
later.
we can all support you and buy your sauce while the anti-Semites can boycott you. It's fine. We're going to buy so much sauce, right?
Which, by the way, they are boycotting. I'm on every boycott list.
That's
I'm on
okay.
all of it, yeah.
They can boycott all they want. We're going to make up for it tenfold.
Thank you. I appreciate it. So I think for me, like Instagram is a place of magic and it's also a place of hell. I don't know how to explain it. Like you have to be ready for the shitstorm. Like, and I am. I was born for this. This was clearly, I actually did a live right after October 7th with a rabbi named Steve Leader. And he said on that live, he said, "You are one of two people in my lifetime that I feel like I don't even remember the words, but I was basically like one of the two people that have ever stepped up for him and his culture and his people in his entire lifetime as a rabbi." And I was like, whoa. So hearing and feeling those beautiful things that's what's kept me going. I'm not meant to be here. This was not the plan, but I'm here. And I need to continue to do what I need to do because every time every one of you come over to me, and give me a hug and cry to me, and I see your beautiful face and your energy, and I just go, yep, clearly I was chosen to do this, and that's why I'm here. Yeah.
You both speak of the importance of your children on the work that you do and in your lives generally. And, we all know that advocacy is a multi-generational affair, and how we raise our children is so important. And the organizations we're involved with, the affiliations we have, that's something we love, that, we keep that through our families. And I was wondering if each of you could speak a little bit about how being a mother has shaped your work and what it does mean when there's sort of a next generation on the line.
My kids and the future generation are my entire purpose and motivation for doing what I do every day. that's it. You know, I joked a minute ago that I fantasize about deleting social media. The reason that I don't, the reason that when it gets really hard, that I keep going is because I think about the future and my obligation to carry the torch and show them the way, because we have so few allies. And thank God we have you and a few others, but we don't have many. And so we have to be the ones to carry the message. And, you know, we all do it in different ways. I don't expect everyone to be so loud and outspoken and walk around with a megaphone like a psychopath like I am. But everyone has their own way of doing it. And it's so important that we lead by example. And, you know, I joke with my kids, you know, this is the family business. I'm sorry, you're a Savetsky, and we're going and we're going to hang the hostage posters and we're going to film a video today. And thank God they're game, and it's really given them a sense of purpose, especially after the trauma of being in Israel on October 7th and being exposed to all of these things that I never in a million years thought that they would see and hear so young. For them to feel like they are a part of the solution has been very has made me feel like I'm doing, you know, the best I can as a parent in this time. There's no manual for how to parent in this moment as a Jewish mom, and you know, to be able to look at them and see how empowered they are and how proud they are marching at the Israel Day Parade yesterday. And there's so much spirit. And even my 3-year-old son, you know, we've indoctrinated him. You know, they indoctrinate, we can indoctrinate too. My 3-year-old loves being Jewish and loves singing Am Yisrael Chai, and it's amazing. So, you know, this is who we are, and it's all-encompassing in every way. And I'm so glad that my kids are as obsessed as we are, because it, you know, it makes a huge difference. It's a family affair.
That's really beautiful. For me, it's obviously a little different, not being Jewish and my daughter getting questions every day at school. Like, she literally now goes to school and people are like, "Is your mom the pink-haired girl?" And she's like, "Mom," like, we go to the skate rink or this or that, and someone's like coming up to me and she's like, "Why are people coming up to you?" Like, she has no idea really what's going on. So then I decided to include her in what was going on. And I remember we were trick-or-treating, and there were hostage posters in Beverly Hills where we were trick-or-treating, and she saw one of the little Beebus boys, and she just put her hand up on it, and she was like, "Are they okay? Like, are they okay? Where are they?" And it made me so emotional. And I was just like, I'm going to be honest to her right now. And I'm going to say, you know what? They're not okay. And that's why mommy's doing what she's doing for these babies. And she asks about these babies every single day. And I wish I had a better answer, like that they were saved or they were found, or. But I know that babies are born loving. They are not born hating. We are teaching our children hate or divide. And I decided, against my ex-husband's will, that I was going to bring her to my very first speech that I was asked to speak at. It was an all-women's speech that I had. 500 women, half which were not Jewish. And I do bring that to the table. When I come to speak, there's a lot of people that are curious. Why is she doing this? So all these Jewish women, or, you know, bring their friends, and they're like, "She's not Jewish, come see what she has to say." So I felt safe to bring her. I brought her, and I remember standing on stage, and I keep getting asked every single day, "Why do you do this? Why do you do this? Why do you do this?" And I looked over at her, and I said, "This is why I do this." I said, because for the future, for our children, we need to step up. We need to show them love and compassion and kindness and bravery. You want to know the craziest thing, guys? I went back to my hotel room that night, and my daughter had written her own speech. And that's how I know that we all lead by example. she wrote her own speech and she asked if she could read it to me. And I actually put it on my Instagram. And it was her just talking about loving yourself, loving everybody else, being kind. It was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. And she did that because she saw mommy speaking to a crowd of people. Like, that is so freaking cool. Within the same day, we had a really sad moment. You know, my boyfriend is Israeli, and none of us had seen a pro-Hamas march yet at that time, but we were in Canada, and it's a very rampant there. And we see this march go by, and we see going by our hotel room. We're looking down from the window, and we see these people holding swastikas in the march. And I just saw my boyfriend's, he's so strong. Like, Israelis are the strongest people in the world, by the way. Like, we can get into all that. But, like, whoa, they are so strong. But I did see a moment of real sadness. Like, he hadn't seen it in person yet, you know? My daughter goes and writes a letter to Omer about how, don't be sad, Israel will win. And like, we love you. And like, look at my kid. Like, I'm not like forcing her or indoctrinating her like you saying, but I am just being me and leading by example. And it's crazy what that can do. So we all have to continue to do that for our kids, because school, I don't know if our kids should be in school, to be honest, right now. Like, I have friends every day calling me being like, my daughter is now being like, you know, indoctrinated and having these other feelings. Like, can you call her? Can you talk to her? These are like 15, 16-year-olds. So I don't know how I feel about school, but I know how I feel about being a mom. And I know that we can all continue to lead by example, because it changes the world.
You're doing a damn good job.
So are you.
We're going to open this up to, I think, like 2 audience questions.
Whoa.
Yes. So if anyone wants to, I have a million more questions. So if they're like, now's your chance to get one in. But before we close, if anyone wants to ask a question to either of these amazing women.
Don't be shy.
Yes.
Oh, thank you. My question is, Caroline, have you asked any of your friends or colleagues or entertainment folks to join you and step into your space? And what have those conversations sounded like when no one was listening, but just you and that person?
Yeah, so absolutely. And I feel like, so this is something I actually bring up a lot. So after my very first speech, I was very scared to go to my first party of like my old kind of life. And I was invited to a party at a friend's house, a very famous friend's house. And it was a Christmas party. And I walked in there kind of scared. I was like, I don't know what they think about me now. Like, are they going to throw a bunch of watermelons at me?
I just want to know whose house it was.
Stop filming and I'll tell everybody. Anyway, I can tell you right now that when I walked in very scared, unsure of what people thought, they all pulled me aside and said, I love what you're doing. I won't do it, but you have balls, girl. Like, I am so proud of you. So the majority of people are actually on our side, is what I really picked up from that night, and from several nights after. They all come up. They just don't want to deal with the garbage that Lizzie and I have to deal with day to day. Risking losing our businesses, risking losing, needing security at places, like risking our, sanity, and our inbox being filled with hate. They just don't want to deal with it. But the majority of people, I would say, honestly, you guys, like 75% of America is on our side. The other side is very loud. I've now sat with and met with people from Meta who have taught me and explained to me about the amount of billions of dollars of bots that they have paid for to like riddle our pages with hate, and it's all fake. Like, the majority is fake. Like, I have been all over the world, as has Lizzie. Has anybody ever attacked you in person?
maybe just a couple in New York, but never like, just they're.
But were you
they're
at a
probably
rally
just
or
really
something,
excited.
or like, what do you mean? Like, I have never walked off an airplane and not had somebody hug me, give me a hug.
People are cowards, and they're
Correct.
very brave behind a screen, but they're
Correct.
much more, in person. They're not going to come up to your face.
They're not. And when they have these little like fake accounts with their fake cat emoji faces, it's like whatever with these people, So I'll tell you right now, I have had a lot of conversations with these people. They are all super proud of what I'm doing. I would start to name names if I didn't think I was going to get called out on TMZ tomorrow. But I mean, it is like the biggest.
Wouldn't that be amazing if this made it onto TMZ?
But I'll just tell you right now, the biggest of the big are all now following and liking all of my posts. And I mean like A-list all the way. Yeah.
That's right.
Amazing. One final question. I see a hand in the back.
Hi there.
Oh, wait for the mic.
I have a huge mouth. Thank you so much. I don't know if you know, there is a congressional primary in this district, June 25th is Election Day. We are faced with a huge anti-Semite who represents this district, Jamal Bowman. I don't know if either of you, as huge influencers, can do anything to spread the word. Everybody's got to get out and vote. I'm sure everybody in this room knows, it's not a room, knows about it. Are you aware of this?
Of course. This is the guy who pulled the fire alarm in Congress. Yes, I know all about this. Ridiculous. It's truly up to all of us to actually show up at the polls, to actually tell everyone that we know. My husband actually was saying that we should get a place in this district and I should run. He tells me this literally every day we have this. I'm like, I am not running for Congress and we are not moving out of Manhattan. But in his world, that's what he would like us to do.
But you could announce here tonight, right?
I feel like I should take out Nadler. That's, well, sorry, maybe I shouldn't say that here. Now we're getting too political. He's in my district, so. But yeah, I really think that it's so important that we talk about this everywhere we go until we're blue in the face and just shove it down people's throats, because the only people that can decide if he's going to end up getting that seat is us, not me, I don't live here, but is your community. So yes, I'm happy to post anything I can to take down this asshole. To use Caroline's word. Did I just say asshole on the microphone?
You did. You're getting it. I'm rubbing off on you.
I want to welcome Rob back up, but I want to thank you guys. Could we say Savetsky D'Amore 2028? Are we in for that? You heard it here first tonight.
I feel like it's a good, she's like a little left, I'm a little more right. Yep. It would be good. We could cover our ground.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. We'll unify everybody.
That'd be awesome. Let's do it. Who's president and who's VP?
Maybe I'll borrow yours.
You're good? We good? Oh, here.
Okay.
She just told me I would probably get assassinated, so.
Hold on. She said who's president and who's VP? And I said, you can be president. I said, but you'll probably get assassinated. So.
All right. Well,
I want to look good when I go.
Caroline, Lizzie, and Stephanie, I just want to really thank you for being here tonight. And really from the bottom of our hearts, we really appreciate the way you're using your platforms to get the message out. And we're all very, very grateful for that. So thank you. So I'm going to make sort of a short closing remarks here, and maybe just for a quick, background. Let's just start with a few statements. Israel is the only country that has ever needed to defend itself for defending itself. Anti-Semitism is on the rise around the world. Israel is at war, and her resources are spread too thin, and Israel is our collective home. And supporting Magen David Adom is our way of helping to ensure that Israel and the IDF have the resources required to provide the emergency medical care to all Israelis. We need to take action to help Israel defend its borders and protect its people. So we hope you will join Amy and I and consider giving in honor of MDA's brave medics, in memory of those who lost their lives on October 7th and since then, and in recognition of the hope that Magen David Adom provides to the people of Israel. So thank you all very much for coming tonight. Feel free to hang around. We're going to have dessert and coffee, and we really appreciate your time. Thank you.